is 1997. It's 2:52 p.m. I've never had a case quite like this. The victim was killed at 4 o'clock with only a bullet wound and an ID as my clues. I've spent days working on this case. Tireless nights at the local diner, feeling the time dig away at my mind and soul. This city never sleeps, so I stay awake with it. This cold town's countless questions and hostility have led me down too many dead ends. I've been through every sin-stained alleyway, every slimy pawn shop, only to be stopped at every turn. But now I know I'm close to finishing this case. I know where I need to go. All I need now is a little sleight of hand, some sticky fingers, and a way through the complex into the perp's apartment. This'll finally be over, and I'll be able to answer this case, allowing what minute victory I can to the sucker whose time got caught short in this inhumane city. My job isn't easy, but it's what this city...
Shadows of Doubt is one of my favorite games this year. Even with all of the fantastic games we've already had, this game gives me something I never really knew I wanted or needed. Developed by Cole Powered Games, This Little Sim came out in April of 2023, at the height of my I don't know what to play, so I guess I'll just play New Vegas again era, which, by the way, has already happened 3 more times since then. I got this game referred to me by a good friend who had been following its release for much longer than I had. When I first saw this game, I didn't really think much of it. It's a detective game, and I don't really play a lot of detective games. But when I actually sat down and started playing this game, I was pleasantly surprised. This game has an incredible open world. Everyone is randomly generated, but in a way that's intricately woven seamlessly into the world. Everyone has their little daily routine. They get up, they go to work, they go have brunch, and they eat, whether I'm around or not. And this isn't just like dozens of people. This is hundreds. I think the most I've had was around 700 people in one city, all going about their unique lives, working at pawn shops or diners, working as police officers, or even getting murdered. And the freedom at which you're allowed to go about this city is astonishing. In most cases, you're given very few clues to work with and every opportunity to figure it out on your own. From hacking into CCTV footage and finding the face of someone who's talked to a recent victim, to tapping into phone lines, or even just reloading a save to watch the murder happen in real time. This game pulls off a depth of world webbing and interlocking that I've never seen before. Now, that's not to say this game doesn't have some rough moments. Specifically in its generation, random cities can have some topological messiness, a general jankiness that's expected in games like this. Apartments will sometimes intersect into businesses, bookshelves can cover important doors just like security rooms. It's still in early access though, with plenty of updates on the way. There are 2 options for a campaign. You can generate your own world with various sizes and choosable seeds, or go with a pre-made world, Charlotte Heights, which adds the tiniest bit of a story/tutorial. You play a detective in the fictional United Atlantic States, taking place in an alternate timeline 1970, where global warming and corporate takeover put citizens in cramped, smoggy, toxic neon cities. You take on jobs to increase your social credit, get a high enough social credit, and you might get the chance to retire to the fields, an idyllic area utterly untouched by industrial savagery. You start off by waking up in your apartment under the threat of eviction. You'll follow a tutorial where you grab all your old detective stuff, get ready for the day, and find a mysterious and cryptic note leading to the location of your very first murder! This tutorial murder is meant to teach you all the wonderful different ways you can gain information in the game, including a city address book which gives you the numbers to every resident who lives in the city, going to where the victim worked and sneaking inside, to finding any messages they might have had that could be incriminating. Murders aren't the only thing you're solving here. In certain areas, like diners and shops, you can take bulletin boards with job offers. These jobs include, but are not limited to, finding someone and throwing food in their face, going into their house and vandalizing their property, stealing items for them, or just straight up arresting them in the middle of the street. All of these boost your social credit and gives you a little bit of money known as crows. Each time you have to do one of these random jobs, you're given some information about your target, but not too much, just enough to lead you to explore yourself. However, the main meat and potatoes, the real hearty filling meals, are the murders. At random times during your escapades, you'll get a notification that there was a murder. Now, this murder could take place anywhere, on the street, in an apartment, in a business. When you get to the murder location, you'll be given clues around the crime scene which help you figure out some case suspects. Or sometimes they'll drop a note basically giving you their name, which, is a big screw up on their part, not gonna lie. My favorite part about these murders is that they can happen anywhere at any time, no matter what you're doing. There were times when I was solving one murder and I'd accidentally see someone else get murdered right in front of me on the grimy streets. Speaking of grimy streets, this game nails the setting. This drab, rainy city is perfect for immersion. From the dimly lit interiors of the apartments to the grungy look and feel of the diners, it all looks miserable and deplorable, and I am here for it. I would frequently find myself just sitting in a diner, putting some chill music on and watching the people go by as I relax, and it's really entertaining. Not to mention the little conversations these NPCs will have sometimes. They don't add that much clue or lore-wise, but it's really lovely seeing a snapshot into these characters' lives, even if just for a second. It feels like everything has been built meticulously for immersion. Now let's talk about my absolute favorite part of this game, jumping out of windows and selling your soul to corporations. I'm talking about sync discs. While you're exploring the city, basically trespassing, you can find these square little discs called sync discs. These little injections basically give you superpowers. For example, the Model Citizen sync disc allows you to gain 6 crows for every book that I read at any point. So just money for reading. Or the Vigor sync disc removes all fall damage. Traveled up 15 stories and in a pinch, just launch yourself out of the window and you're all set, baby. Not all of them are great though. Some are basically just viruses with a small benefit. The Sugar Daddy sync disc made by Starch Cola, it gives you 5,000 credits, but it costs 6,000 credits to remove, and you have a dependency on cola. So if you're not drinking it, you're feeling hurt, and that's no good. Along with sync discs, you have upgrade vials, which allow you to get additional boosts to the sync disc where they apply, such as gaining even more money from reading books. So, you're all set to start investigating. But oh damn, you've encountered a door with a lock, a safe that needs a code, and a very pesky tenant who wants you out of their home. Well, it's a damn good segue. We're talking about items. Your hands down top 3 most valuable items are the lockpick, codebreaker, and handcuffs. Lockpicks are simple. You have a locked door? Just carry enough of these, all you gotta do is look at the door handle, wait a bit, and poof, you're in. The same goes for security cameras. In almost every area you'll find security cameras hanging out on the ceiling. You can either sabotage them directly by looking at them, or follow their red line to the breaker box, break into that, and disable the cameras altogether, allowing you to unexplore uninhibited. The handcuffs allow you to subdue any citizen, innocent or guilty, and question them while they're stuck, making them more likely to give you answers. The codebreakers, however, are my personal favorite. Place these on any safe and they'll automatically start putting in random codes until it finds the right one and saves it for you to use later. And I'll tell you, these codes are everything in this game. Every character, every business. While trying to improve your social credit, you can also visit shops to purchase various items, including decorations for your house, which are fully customizable. You can change the wallpaper, the flooring, and the furniture. It's not groundbreaking by any means. It needs some work, but it adds more immersion that I get to have a little house that I can customize. I haven't been experimenting much with house decoration, but this is my place so far. I think it's kind of cute. There are also a myriad of weapons for you to purchase or find off of people's bodies, which can help if you need to get information the old-fashioned way, or just want to protect yourself. And you're not the only one armed. Plenty of guards and regular citizens have no problem beating the living daylights out of you if you break the law. I don't know about anyone else, but I get hurt a lot. I found myself bleeding and constantly panicking before setting myself 20 stories down to the ground floor because I forgot the elevator was above me. Luckily, you can also buy off items to save any of those injuries or any other condition you find yourself having, such as hunger or thirst, being cold, wet, or worst of all, stinky. These are all conditions that will affect the gameplay, such as being wet will sometimes make you slip if you sprint, being cold will shake your screen, and being stinky lets citizens smell you if you get into the events, which is very unfortunate for the sneaky type. Another part of the detective sim I feel they nailed are the bulletin boards. You can bring up a menu at any time which gives you this board connected to your case. You can have multiple at once for each case, and each one has its own separate tab. You can pin anything to these boards that you find and keep it there for you to use later, complete with a red line and everything, allowing you to make connections on any clue you find out there, organizing it into a digestible way. Now, after you find all the clues you need and have the killer pinned, you go and grab a case file from City Hall. This will have you fill out a list of questions for you to answer. Who the killer is, what weapon they were using, how you know that they were at the crime scene, etc, etc, etc. And of course, you're able to handcuff the killer, making sure their reign of pixelated terror is no more. I cannot tell you how much fun I've been having with this game, how much time I spent when I got my grubby little hands on it. I would find every possible way to get information on people, even randomly calling people's cells just to see if they'd answer. This game legitimately forced me to think in ways I hadn't realized. It is fascinating to just go to a random person's apartment, break in, and see all the little details about their life on display. Of course, I only do that for detective reasons, never for anything selfish. And now, detective, after all that hard work, you're able to go home to your own little cozy slice of life apartment, ready for the next case out there, and soon enough, you too will be able to retire to the fields. See you later, detectives.